Let me ask you something. Have you ever met someone and within the first minute, you just had a feeling about them? Maybe you trusted them immediately, or maybe something felt a little off. Maybe you couldn't explain why. You just knew. Now here's the interesting part. If someone asked you why you felt that way, most of us couldn't explain it. We'd probably say, I don't know. It was just a feeling. After spending more than 20 years working with people, I've learned those feelings usually aren't random. They're built from experience. And strangely enough, it wasn't until I started using AI that I realized just how valuable those experiences were. You see, before AI, I never really thought about the skills I had developed over the years. I just assumed they were part of the job. Hiring people, training new employees, leading teams, handling upset customers, having difficult conversations, trying to keep everyone motivated during stressful days. That was just my life. That was hospitality. And then AI showed up. And like a lot of people, I was fascinated. It could write, it could brainstorm, it could summarize, it could answer questions faster than I ever could. And for a little while, I wondered the same thing a lot of people were wondering. What happens when AI gets really good? What skills will still matter? And the answer surprised me, because the more I used AI, the more I realized something. The skills that mattered most 20 years ago are still the skills that matter most today. In fact, they matter even more now. One thing hospitality teaches you very quickly is that people rarely tell you exactly what's going on. A customer might tell you, my meal was fine, but you can tell it wasn't. An employee might tell you, I'm okay, but you know they're overwhelmed. Someone can smile all day long and still be struggling. Nobody teaches you that in a training manual. You learn it by spending thousands of hours around people, watching, listening, paying attention, and over time, you start noticing things that are hard to put into words. You notice tone, you notice body language, you notice energy, confidence, frustration. Not because someone taught you, but because experience taught you. And that's something AI made me appreciate even more. Because AI can process information, but people communicate so much beyond information. That's when something clicked for me. For years, I thought experience meant knowing the answers. Now I think experience means knowing what to pay attention to. And that's a huge difference. AI can give you facts. Experience tells you which facts actually matter. And AI can help you organize information, but experience helps you understand people. And if I've learned anything over the 20 years of working with people, it's that understanding people has always been the hardest part, and I have a feeling it always will be. That's not a weakness of AI. It's a reminder of how valuable human experience really is. One thing AI has made me realize is that experience is just information. It's pattern recognition. Think about that. When you've managed people for years, you start noticing patterns, not because someone taught you, because you've lived them. You can walk into a room and within a few seconds, you can feel the energy. You know if your team is locked in. You know if morale is slipping. You know if someone is frustrated before they even say a word. And that's not magic, that's experience. And experience takes time. I remember interviewing people over the years. Sometimes someone would walk in, give all the right answers, say exactly what you wanted to hear. On paper, they looked like the perfect hire, but something didn't feel right. Not because they said anything wrong, but because of how they said it. Maybe they avoided eye contact. Maybe their confidence felt rehearsed. Maybe something just didn't line up at the time. I couldn't always explain it. I just trusted my instincts. And looking back, more often than not, those instincts were right. Now imagine asking AI to evaluate that interview. Could it summarize their resume? Absolutely. Could it organize their answers? Probably better than I could. Could it notice the subtle things that 20 years of working with people had taught me to notice? I don't think it could. Here's another example. If you've ever worked with customers, you know this feeling. Someone walks in, they smile, they're polite, they tell you everything is fine, but you know everything isn't fine. Maybe they're disappointed. Maybe they're frustrated. Maybe they've had a bad day before they even walk through the door. Over the years, you learn that solving the problem is only half the job. The other half is making people feel heard. And that's something that I've spent years learning, not from books, not from training videos, from thousands and thousands of real conversations. Leadership taught me something. People don't always need answers. Sometimes they just need someone to listen. I can't tell you how many conversations I've had where someone came into my office thinking they needed advice. By the time they finished talking, they had already figured out the answer themselves. They just needed someone who genuinely listened. That's something AI has actually made me appreciate even more, because AI is incredible at generating information, but real leadership starts with understanding people. The more I used AI, the more one sentence kept coming back to me. AI can give you an answer. Experience tells you when it's the wrong answer. Let that sink in, because that's the difference. AI can recommend a schedule. Experience knows which employee just lost a family member. AI can suggest the most efficient solution, but experience knows efficiency isn't the most important thing. AI can analyze numbers, but experience remembers the conversations behind the numbers. That's not because AI isn't amazing. It is. It's because people are more complicated than data. And honestly, I hope they always will be. When AI first became popular, a lot of people started asking, what jobs will AI replace? I found myself asking a different question. What human skills become even more valuable now? The answer wasn't technical. It wasn't coding. It wasn't prompt engineering. It was empathy, communication, judgment, trust, leadership, listening. Those are the skills that I've spent 20 years developing. And now, ironically, AI has made me appreciate them even more. You know what's funny? When AI first became part of my everyday life, I expected to spend most of my time learning about technology, but instead, it made me think a lot more about people. It made me appreciate conversations. It made me appreciate trust. It made me appreciate experience. And maybe most importantly, it reminded me that some of the most valuable things that we do can't be measured on a spreadsheet. They can't be summarized in a report. And they definitely can't be reduced to data. The biggest lesson AI has taught me has almost nothing to do with AI. It's this: people aren't looking for perfect answers. They're looking for someone they can trust. Think about your own life. The people who have influenced you most, were they the smartest people you've ever met? Maybe, but I'm willing to bet the people you remember the most are the people who believed in you, the people who listened, the people who encouraged you, the people who made you feel understood. That's what stays with us. Now, don't get me wrong. I use AI almost every day. I absolutely love what it can do. It helped me save time. It's helped me organize ideas, learn faster, become more productive. This channel probably wouldn't exist without AI. So this isn't about choosing people over technology. It's about understanding where each one shines. AI is an incredible assistant, but it isn't a replacement for character. It isn't a replacement for empathy. It isn't a replacement for wisdom. Those things are earned, usually over years and sometimes over decades. If you're worried about AI, here's what I tell you. Don't spend all your time trying to become more like AI. Spend your time becoming better at the things AI can't learn from a data set. Become a better listener, a better leader. Become someone people trust. Become someone who stays calm under pressure. Become someone who can have difficult conversations with kindness. Those skills matter 20 years ago. They matter today, and I believe they'll matter 20 years from now. If I had to summarize everything I've learned after 20 years of working with people, the last couple of years working with AI, it would be this: technology changes, but people don't. People still want to feel heard. They still want honesty. They still want respect. They still want someone who genuinely cares. AI has changed the tools that we use. It hasn't changed what it means to be human. And honestly, I hope it never does. If this video resonated with you, I hope you'll stick around, because that's exactly what this channel is about. Not chasing every AI headline, not convincing you the world is ending, and not pretending AI has all the answers. It's about learning how to use these incredible tools without losing the human skill that matters most. If that sounds like the kind of conversation you'd like to be part of, I'd love to have you along for the journey. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. And remember, real tools, real results for real life.